Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have a crazy article about a crazy subject and a crazy demand or request or suggestion. That suggestion comes from the former Ukrainian ambassador to Germany. And let's see what he thinks would be viable for Ukraine at this point. So this article comes from the New Voice of Ukraine from today, January 29th, 2023, Sunday. Former Ukrainian ambassador to Germany, Melnyk, proposes Berlin next give submarine to Ukraine. Okay. Now what's strange here, this comes from Yahoo News. And if you look at the top here, it says news, US, politics, world. And then I see here climate change. Oh my. Pretty soon we're going to have here a something like Biden's IQ or something. Unbelievable. Yeah, they push it. A submarine in the hands of the Ukrainian Navy, which lost most of its main surface vessels to capture by Russia in 2014, could help expel the Russian Navy from the Black Sea, who has a history of making controversial and undiplomatic statements, wrote. I don't think that a submarine will do much, just to start with that one. And I'm quoting, Germany produces one of the world's best submarines, HDW class 212A, end quote, he wrote. The Bundeswehr has such U-boats. Why not to send one to Ukraine? Then we'll kick the Russian fleet out of the Black Sea. Okay, because the Russians have only horse-drawn carriages or something, or rowboats in the Black Sea. How can it be so stupid? You tell me, guys. And this was an ambassador to Germany, not to, I don't know, Romania or an unimportant country. Germany. Was that the best? It seems like best in doing something that he was supposed to, but not to be a smart guy. He was smart in other areas, I'm pretty sure. Earlier, Melnyk called on the German government to, and I'm quoting, stop the tank show, end quote, and agree to supply Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. Well, that was achieved, as we all know, and they're working on supplying F-16s and other fighter jets, which will be supplied if the war lasts for about 2 more months, which I think will last more than 2 more months. Melnyk, who was Ukraine's ambassador in Berlin until October 2022, has a history of ruffling German politicians' feathers with his outspokenness and, I might say, stupidity. He called German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, and I'm quoting, an offensive liver sausage. Okay. In the wake of the German leader cancelling a visit to Kiev because the German president had not been invited, a German phrase implying the Chancellor was thin-skinned and easily offended. Melnyk has also had a brush with Twitter owner Elon Musk, writing, and I'm quoting, F off is my very diplomatic reply to you, end quote, to Musk on October 3rd, 2022, after the billionaire businessman offered up a peace plan heavily biased towards Russia and containing elements of Kremlin false propaganda claims. Well, Melnyk is a diplomat, and he acts like a diplomat. Now let's see how viable a submarine could be. Obviously, he's not thinking only of one submarine, because if you look at the pattern, not only in Ukraine, but we can take Ukraine as an example. First is a little discussion, how about, then it's the, the denial. No, we're not gonna, no. And then how about, maybe that could help save lives. And then they create a little moral issue on why, those killing machines, weapons should be delivered in a defensive, they put it in a defensive light. Like, we're going to give them atomic bombs for defensive purposes, let's say. Just an example. So here, then they say, well, maybe we should, how about? And then they pinpoint a person who opposes it. They destroy that guy's character by calling him this and calling him that, and trying to destroy his electiveness in a democratic system. That's the most important thing, because all the politicians, as you know, they are clowns. They show off. They show the best part. They try to impress the public in a certain way, so they get elected. And once they get elected, then they show who they are. And then about 2 or 3 months before the elections, they again put their clown makeup and they show in front of us and try to impress us. Like those male, birds that dance around a mate. The female bird, when it's about mating, the same, these clowns. They show up 2-3 months and then they promise us everything. After 3 years and 10 months, they were doing whatever someone else probably told them. Now in this case, then they say, yeah, we're going to give them, give us one at least. And then when they say give us one, or the debate about if that should be provided to the Ukrainians, the Ukrainian mass media starts showing, not showing because it always shows, but I would say increases its articles regarding, that's my experience, increasing its articles referring the war crimes the Russians are doing. That's why this particular weapon is needed, putting more pressure on those guys, as if you don't supply us with that, is because you don't give us that weapon, and somehow you are the one who are supposed to give us that. Why? Because you can. That's the way it is. But what we can, we don't do. We just take care of our stuff. I'm talking a peace process and all that. Now, they will not get submarines. I can tell you that. I have 0%. Come on, 1%. Let's give it, because it's always a possibility. I think it's a 0 probability, but let's say 1 possibility that they could. It's possible that those guys could deliver them 1 submarine. Probable? No, that's not going to be happening. Why? Because 1 submarine does not do anything. You can bring the best, fantastic submarine that the Americans have, the Germans have, whomever you want. The Russians can match that, 20 times. And the Black Sea is a very small sea, if you know what I mean. That's going to be blown up in no time. Even if it could just release some or launch some missiles or whatever its purpose is going to be in the Black Sea. You think that submarine is going to be like a U-boat in the Second World War, just torpedoes Russian vessels? No, that's not what's going to be. And once that is happening and blows up, the first one, I think, is going to be sunk. I mean, if you know anything about submarines, you know that a submarine in a small area will be detected under the current technologies. And remember, the Russians have submarines, many submarines, so they will find it and they will blow it up. It's not like the HIMARS, unfoundable, unfindable, non-destructible, because as you know, the Russians were incapable of finding 1 HIMARS system provided by the Americans. Somehow those things are so good that, hey, buy 1, get 1 free. Basically, it's just a commercial gimmick telling you that this is the best, that's the best, and whatever the Russians have is garbage. It's just a salesman technique. After all, that makes you think, follow the money and che bono, who benefits, makes you narrow it to just maybe 3 entities, and then you put that in the context of the war, and you might get some answers if you have doubts about who's who, what's what, and the reasons of this Russia's unprovoked attack on Ukraine. So no submarines. I don't think so. I don't think so whatsoever. Nice try though, but not viable or feasible. No, they're gonna work after the fighter jets that will receive. They will work on long-range missile systems. That's what's gonna be longer. And then after that, they will say, oh, some NATO peacekeeping force or love-keeping, spreading force. They're going to use whatever euphemism they want for ground troops, and they will name them as such. And hey, they are not fighters. They are not fighting forces. They're going to be about 20,000, I don't know, humanitarian, beautiful, loving, perfect forces in Ukraine. And the Russians will yell, hey, those guys are fighting us. The other guy's going to say, no, did you hear what we said? They are just peace-loving humanitarian forces. That's what they are, because of the name, not of the action, not because of the action. Well, this is what I think will happen in the future. That's my prediction. If the war keeps going for at least 2 months, I think within 2 months, the Ukrainians might get fighter jets. Maybe in 3 months they will get, or 4 months at the maximum, they would get long-range missile systems. They take Patriot. They will get that sooner, even though they said they need training. The Ukrainians are geniuses, and they will learn whatever this need to be learned. It needs to be learned. They will learn it in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month. They need 6 months at least, but hey, they will get it in 1 month. Why? I don't know, because they said so. Any more questions? Yeah, okay. No more answers. All right, well, that's the way I see it. And I'm not saying it like that because I woke up, I don't know, early this morning, is because the pattern. Look at the pattern since the 24th of February, and you see how things escalated from, I don't know, giving them the little things, from weapons, little weapons, bullets, helmets, things like this, and then they ended up with giving them heavy tanks. I mean, mountain slope model, it works. At work. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.